I think maybe we could slow it down slightly, Betty.
Yes, okay.
I'll also take that note for myself because, this is going to be blaring out on what I remember to be quite an old public address system.
Hello, welcome to the Formula One Qatar Airways British Grand Prix.
I also don't think we need a hello.
Okay, right, fine.
Okay, I'm on the top of a hill. I've got signal. Hello, let's begin.
Oh, Greg, look at you in your little car. Hello and welcome to the Fast and the Curious with me, Betty Glover from Down Under.
Me, the self-titled paddock botherer, and to use Greg James's title for me, resident F1 gnome Christian Hugill.
I really do love paddock botherer so much. Or paddock pest we could do. We could change these every week, I guess.
Paddock pest.
Yeah, paddock pest is good. I mean, trust me, it's true. Trust me.
I was going to say paddock pervert, but no, I won't do that.
That's exactly what I was thinking in my head, and then I thought, but probably not appropriate.
No, please don't do that.
And me, your team principal on an extended break in the middle of nowhere in France, where I have been driving for the last 20 minutes to try and find some signal at the top of a hill, and I think we've got there. So you can hear me loud and clear, and I've got some 4G for now, which is good. And I am actual Alan Partridge in a car with a microphone. But anyway, most importantly, Betty, how's it going in Australia? You're in charge of their Euros coverage, which is such a great gig, by the way. We've said this without you being here, but how's it all going?
Oh yeah, no, it is good. It's hard because I am working overnight, so I basically had a week of getting onto Aussie time, and then have now had to go back onto European time. So I'm going to bed at like 6 a.m. every morning. I'm broadcasting through the night, and so I'm sometimes I say stupid things anyway, quite often on this podcast when I'm not thinking. Well, imagine what that is like at 3 a.m. in the morning when I'm so tired. I'm live on air, and I'm just like, oh my god, my brain won't work, but it's very good. It is good. It's good fun.
I'm just annoyed that I can't watch Optus Sport here, or maybe you can, or is it just Australia?
Just Australia. I'm starting to pick up the accent.
Yeah, well, not by the sounds of it, but yeah, it's still a month or so.
Work in progress.
Well, Betty, because you're in Australia, it does mean you won't be with us in person at Silverstone next week. Now, it's obviously gutting to not have the gang together at the British Grand Prix, but you're doing amazing things and you couldn't miss this opportunity. And as I say, we're very proud of you. We'll go through some of our plans for Silverstone in more detail in a bit, but we do have a way of you being there in some form. Now, obviously, Silverstone has hundreds of thousands of people going through the gates every day. And how do you keep the crowds moving? A massive tannoy system, right? Now, bear in mind, Betty's just said that, Betty, you're not the only one who says stupid things on this podcast. We all do. And this podcast is being done in 3 different countries with Greg up a hill in a car. But still, despite all of that, Silverstone think it would be a good idea to have us 3 morons, being the voice of authority and helping the queues ticking over this year. So, Betty, you might not be there in person, but based on that tannoy announcement last year, which we all heard a lot, Betty Glover will still be everywhere, right? Everywhere.
Yeah. I won't physically be there in my body, but you will hear my voice everywhere you go, which sounds pretty cool to me, maybe not to other people.
Yeah, well, this message is in the campsites. We were waking up to it last year, in the grandstands, in the fan zone, almost 500,000 people, probably including the drivers at some point in the weekend, will hear what we are about to record on the podcast. It's stupid. And what's more stupid is, Greg, this is your idea. You thought it would be a good idea for us to record this on the podcast, just put the recording process in this episode for everyone to hear.
Yeah, because I thought, we carry along our listeners on every step of this adventure into Formula One. And I love a behind the scenes. People love a behind the scenes. And when you're there, this is like a secret code, essentially. If you are a listener to The Fast and the Curious and you're going to Silverstone, you'll remember this episode and go, oh my God, I remember. It add an extra layer of hilarity when they remember where we all were when we were recording this.
Yeah.
I'm sitting in a Peugeot 5008 people carrier. buy some bins
Nice.
in a little residential area. And Betty's in Australia, and Christian, you're in the paddock botherer's grotto.
Yes. Exactly, as usual.
What I think's really cool as well is if you're not at Silverstone, so you're not going to be in those queues listening to us, whatever, you can just walk around your house and listen to it on our podcast and just pretend you're there. You can start queuing for the toilet or something and just listen to us asking you to queue up nicely.
The announcements last year, I realised just how frequent they were when they were blaring out in the campsites at a really stupidly early time of day.
Yeah.
Because obviously people arrive at sort of 8 o'clock in the morning, whatever. So we are going to, I think it's going to turn from, oh, that's the guys from the Fast and the Curious, into, can you shut the up, please? So in fact, when you are at Silverstone over the weekend, you could film yourself listening to us while shouting back at the public address system. That would be great.
This is a high-risk strategy. You're right.
Yeah, because I remember waking up in the morning, hearing these announcements, and by the end of the weekend, I was like, I literally, like, I can't do this anymore.
You are right, Christian. It is a high-risk strategy, but that's the sort of team principal that I am. I wanna go for it. I want to take some risks. I want to be brave. I want to be bold.
Okay, with that in mind, Team Silverstone have sent us a script for a welcome and goodbye message, but they have also told producer Jimmy that we should introduce ourselves, and I quote, happy for our personality to come through. We just need to make sure the key messaging is also said in the script. Okay? So
Right. So they're happy for our personalities to come through.
which nobody says to me anyway, because I'm an idiot.
God help everyone.
So the next bit you'll hear is us recording it. This is basically like the Beatles at Abbey Road capturing magic. And then at Silverstone, you'll be able to hear what they've kept in. So, right, Greg, are you ready? You okay in the car? You've got no traffic. You're happy. You're ready.
No, I'm ready. I'm ready to go. I'm good.
Okay. Betty, you're doing the first bit. Have you got the words in front of you?
I'm ready. I'm ready to go, lads.
Okay. I mean, I want to do we add in people can play I Spy in the queue line? Should we?
Remember, this is going to be played so many times, it will get old so quickly.
Let's just see what happens.
Fairly straight, but I think the most important thing is we want 250,000 new people to hear what the Fast and the Curious is. We don't want people to think, oh my God, I don't want to hang out with those. I want to hang out with those. Is what you want.
Okay, so play it fairly straight,
Yeah. Okay, fine.
which is tricky for me.
We can do this, guys. I'm ready. Limbering up. Okay.
Can you hear me, Clem Fandango?
No, stop it. Behave. We've got serious professionals. Tannoy announcements.
Right. Are we ready?
I'm quite nervous.
Betty, go.
Right. 3, 2, 1. Welcome to the Formula One Qatar Airways British Grand Prix. I'm Betty Glover.
I'm going to stop you there. Isn't it Qatar or is it Qatar?
Qatar, yeah.
Qatar.
All right, okay. Sorry.
I flew with Qatar. Anyway. Welcome to the Formula One Qatar...
No. It's not Formula... Yeah, you know what... Yeah.
Welcome to the Formula One Qatar Airways British Grand Prix. I'm Betty Glover.
I'm Christian Hugill.
And I'm Greg James from the Fast and the Curious podcast. And we're really sorry because you're going to hear our voices reading out this message a lot over the weekend.
That was quite good. That wasn't bad at all.
I think that's pretty good. I think maybe we could slow it down slightly, Betty.
Yes, okay.
I'll also take that note for myself because this is going to be blaring out on what I remember to be quite an old public address system.
I only said I'm Christian Hugill. Was that at the right pace?
Yeah, I think that was great.
Yeah, I have got to go in 10 minutes, so let's crack on, guys.
Okay, yep, sure. Yep, no worries.
All right, let's crack on. Right, go on, Betty.
Okay. Hello, welcome to the Formula One Qatar Airways British Grand Prix.
I also don't think we need a hello.
Okay, right, fine. Okay.
Right, it's good.
Welcome to the Formula One Qatar Airways British Grand Prix. I'm Betty Glover.
I'm Christian Hugill.
And I'm Greg James from the Fast and the Curious podcast. And we're really sorry because you're going to hear our voices reading out this message a lot over the weekend. But don't worry, it's pre-recorded. They're not making us do it live.
Which is a relief for all of us. Now, we want to get everyone in as quickly and as safely as possible. So please have your ticket ready on your Silverstone Tickets app prior to reaching the gate.
We will, not us personally, there's only 3 of us and it will take ages, but we will, as Silverstone, be conducting body and bag searches at the gates. So have your bodies and bags ready to help speed up the process, please. Good little bit of personality there. Did you like that? There's a little bit of extra, sort of a little bit of pizzazz there.
I really liked it. I enjoyed it.
Well, it was nice, that.
There's lots going on over the weekend, including us lot doing some live shows, which you should go and have a look at. You can have a look at our socials to find out when and where. But you can keep up to date with everything by tuning into Silverstone Radio on 87.7 FM, downloading the Silverstone Events app, or by speaking to one of the wonderful team of racemakers who will be very happy to help.
And attention, everyone, this is the serious bit. Why have they made me do the serious bit? During the event, please be vigilant. If you see anything suspicious, not just Christian Hugill, please speak to a member of staff. And finally, to really bring the tone down, a reminder that ticket touts may be in operation with illegally obtained and forged tickets. These will not permit entry, so do not purchase them. These people are rotten. These people are not to be trusted.
Okay, I'll try and bring the mood back up by saying we hope you enjoy your day at Silverstone. We are the Fast and the Curious, and if you're not already subscribed, you can find us on YouTube and anywhere you listen to podcasts. Did I go a bit voiceover man at the end then?
No, it's not. It does. It needs to be.
Okay, Jimmy says we now can move on to the exit message. The exit message, where Betty, once again, you start.
Yeah. Thank you for visiting Silverstone. We very much hope you enjoyed your day.
Maybe a bit less world weary.
Okay.
Yeah, you do sound like you're ready for the end.
We hope you enjoyed your day.
Yeah. Now, everybody.
You've had your fun. You've seen the fast cars. Now off.
Exactly. I mean, I wish we could say that. That's a lot more interesting.
Well, with that in mind, should we do the end bit? That's all good.
Thank you for visiting Silverstone. We hope you enjoyed your day. No, we hope you enjoyed your day.
Just like, thank you. But imagine you're doing a museum thing. Like, thank you for visiting the Tate Modern.
Okay, right.
Or like, thanks for visiting Alton Towers. We hope you enjoyed your day.
Thank you for visiting Silverstone. We hope you enjoyed your day.
It's us again, the Fast and the Curious podcast, and this time helping you figure out what to do with the rest of your day. Here's some ideas. Christian.
Greg, thank you. If you're not ready to leave yet, head over to the main stage for some live music or stay late into the night at the Mahiki T1 enclosure.
That's where we'll find Christian Hugill. But if you are ready to go and you can't be bothered with any of that, then please be patient as we help everyone exit the venue safely. And there will be live traffic updates from Silverstone Radio on 87.7 FM. Please also be respectful to the local community and keep those noise levels to a minimum.
Once again, thank you for visiting this year's Formula One Qatar Airways British Grand Prix. We look forward to welcoming you back very soon.
And this might be the last time you hear from us on the public address system, which I'm sure you're pleased about. But if you want even more of our voices while you're heading home, don't miss the Fast and the Curious, where we've already got episodes from this very Grand Prix up on the feed. You can subscribe to us on YouTube and anywhere you listen to podcasts.
Lovely. I think that's really good, guys.
Well done, everybody.
Well done. So, Betty, you've now got to leave the podcast, haven't you?
Yes, I do, yes.
Betty, we're very proud of you in Australia. Go, 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 go. We love you.
Have a good time, Betty. Love you, bye.
Thanks, lads. Miss you all.
Bye, Betty. Bye, bye, Betty. Bye, Betty.
Bye, bye, bye.
Greg, you stay there. We've got more business to attend to.
Oh, have we now?
So we would like you to let us know where you hear us over the weekend, where you hear that Tannoy announcement. If you're heading to Silverstone, we want voice notes, videos in our DMs. Let us know where you heard it and when, and if it drives you insane or not. We want to know. And if you are going to be at the Grand Prix, there are a few places you'll be able to see us at the weekend. Greg, would you like me to run through where we're going to be?
Yes, please. Let's go for it. Yes.
Okay, so if you're going to Silverstone, this is where you can see us. On the Friday evening, we'll be on the drivers in stage between 5:30 and 6:30 p.m. There'll have been 2 F1 free practice sessions by then, so a bit of on-track action to discuss. But we'd really like, on that show, to get some of you involved and do a live Q&A. We'll send producer Jimmy out in the crowd, like we did last year, with a mic again to get some questions, thoughts, and feelings. We might try a Beat the Christian with some F1 knowledge, which you know is my least favourite thing on the podcast, so you can see me squirm live. So DM us if you're going to be there, and if you have something you want to discuss or something that needs our special attention, like last year we had a hen do, which got producer Jimmy very much involved with. We enjoyed that. We are at Fast Curious Pod on socials, or just turn up and pick our brains. That hen do last year was fantastic, so we'd like something that sort of matches that again.
But also, as a general note, if you see any of us out and about, just come and say hello.
Oh, do.
Because we do love this community of F1 newbies and nerds that we find ourselves in. And it's a really... If you've never been to Silverstone before, it's such a great... It's a great atmosphere. It's very friendly. There's an amazing buzz.
It's so good.
Everyone wants to have a great time, essentially. And we want to be part of that as well.
And wasn't it nice meeting our listeners last year, which was fantastic.
Loved it.
So that was stage show 1. Then on Saturday, we head to the main stage at 4:05 in the afternoon, a very specific time, but that's because it's right off the back of Formula One qualifying. So we'll have some exciting debriefing to do and mop up the action. We've got exciting guests in the works for that one as well. So stage show 2, main stage, Saturday, 4:05.
Yeah.
Then on Sunday morning, for our third show, it's 9:15 Sunday morning. We'll be back on the main stage, getting everyone in the mood for race day, but we won't be doing it alone. We are so excited to announce, Greg, I don't even know if you know this, that Williams team principal James Vowles will be on the stage with us to talk through his race day. Greg, you can compare notes with a team principal. How about that?
I mean, of course I know about it. The team principal network has been hard at work here. So yes,
of course it has.
It's great to get my opposite number from Williams on. He's a Formula One character that I'd say they've really made an effort to bring him out to the public a bit more in the last 12 months. So I really like that, because he's a very likable, interesting, thoughtful man. I'd actually say that he's cut from a similar cloth as a Gareth Southgate type character.
Yeah, that's a really good comparison.
He's very compassionate, but also when he needs to be tough and make a tough decision, he will do.
Yeah.
So loads to talk to him about, and also their ambitions. They've got huge ambitions, haven't they, Christian? That team.
Massive. So that is Sunday morning at 9:15 on the main stage. There are our 3 stage shows.
Brilliant.
Now we'll obviously put everything we do on stage and behind the scenes on the podcast feed. And we'll be putting all the live shows on YouTube as well this year. That's new for this year. We're going to try and bring you as best we can to the British Grand Prix, because we know there'll be loads of people listening to this who can't make it. So all of the stuff on the podcast feed, all of the live shows available to watch on YouTube, which is amazing. So it's a great time to go and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribed on Spotify or Apple or wherever you get this. And of course, we'll put all the details of the live shows on the social channels as well, so you can see, because you might not be able to remember everything we've just said. You're probably running for a bus while listening to this, or in the gym, so it'll all be on the socials. Greg, before we go to Silverstone, we've got a driver chat to get into that you unfortunately missed because you were holidaying. We have allowed you to have some holiday time
Thank you.
on your holiday rather than driving to the top of a hill. And Betty was able to make this one. We are going to talk to the brilliant Jamie Chadwick. Now, Jamie is having a great year racing in America. We caught up with her over the winter. We've now seen her making history in Indy NXT, so we had to book in a catch-up with me and Betty. Greg, would you like to hear from the brilliant, trailblazing Jamie Chadwick?
I actually genuinely will be listening to this, and I would love to hear it now.
Jamie Chadwick, hello. Welcome to the Fast and the Curious.
Hello, thank you. Thanks for having me.
I've got to start by talking about your background. You've got a roaring fire going on over there. You've got a lovely staircase with a bit of glass. I'm loving it. Whereabouts are you? Are you in Monaco?
I am in Monaco, and I felt like I needed a bit of British, homely fireness, which is bizarre because it's like the peak of summer and I've got a roaring fire on the go. But It's nice in the evenings. It makes you feel cozy, like you're in like a nice little winter pub or something.
The last time me and Jamie actually spoke, Betty, it was actual winter. Well, the last time we spoke on this podcast, we've actually seen each other at motor racing circuits several times since then, but the last time we spoke on the podcast, it was just before or just after Christmas, one of the two, when we were at the Williams factory. There has obviously, Jamie Chadwick, been some very exciting moments for you this season since then. But for anyone who missed that episode or hasn't been following you as closely as we have, that sounds a little bit stalkery, but you know what I mean. Hasn't been sort of lovingly keeping an eye on you. Just bring people up to speed with what you're up to this year.
When did we speak? Did we speak at the beginning of the season?
It was pre-season.
We see each other a lot, so I kind of lose track of like when we've actually spoken or what we've got up.
Ooh, racing friends. Bloody hell, I've never met Jamie before, so...
It's because you keep jetting off to Australia.
No, exactly. It's your fault, not ours.
Jamie, carry on.
So, I'm racing over in America in a series called Indy NXT, Indy Next. So it's the feeder series to IndyCar, which is their kind of pinnacle of the sport over there, really. It's, all in North America. Most known for something called the Indy 500. There's quite a few drivers that have come from Formula One over to IndyCar. And off the back of, so I did something called W Series, which was the all-female championship, which supported Formula One. Off the back of that, I had the opportunity to go and race in Indy Next with Andretti last year. And the whole plan was to sort of do a 2-year program and now sort of start this pathway over here in the States, or not here in the States, but over there in the States. And so, going into my second year, again with Andretti, the sort of aim was to kind of up the ante a little bit, try and get some good results and see where we could end up. So, I'm coming off the back of my first win, which I'm super happy about. And there's a long season left to go, but very happy with the progress we've made.
I love how you're just casually saying, coming off the back of my first win. I mean, Jamie, you've been making history, mate. You're making history. The first woman to win on a road course in the series. What was that race like? Can you talk to us about that winning moment as well?
Honestly, I was actually a few emotions. So I was on pole the day before, and straight after being on pole, I was actually really nervous. Normally I'm the opposite of that. I'm quite, happy, and you back yourself and you think, okay, I'm going to go win tomorrow. But I was so nervous straight after securing pole. And then the actual kind of emotion of it was pretty big, actually, for me especially. I don't get too emotional, I guess, with races. I quite quickly think about the next. I don't get too wrapped up in it, but there's been so much hard work that's gone into this. I hope most people haven't followed me for the last year or two, because it's been a struggle. So the first year especially hasn't been easy, and even the start of this year we've had loads of things just go wrong, and a lot out of our control, some in our control, and it just felt like everything all built up into that one moment. And the actual race was fine. I think we led the whole race and it was reasonably comfortable. We had a few sort of safety cars and red flags and things to make it interesting, but the actual race was fine, but just the emotion after it was the best feeling.
I found it really interesting that you said you're not usually that nervous before the start of a race. You usually sort of back yourself, but that particular race you felt really nervous. Why do you think that was?
Maybe just, again, like I say, this kind of felt like one of the biggest moments for me career-wise. So much had gone into it. But I am always nervous before the race, that's for sure. But I mean, normally I'm the most nervous before qualifying, and then after qualifying I relax a little bit, because once you've qualified you kind of know where you're at, you know what you're capable of, and it's a little bit clearer. Whereas this time it was the opposite. I was not that nervous going into qualifying, really nervous after qualifying, and then I relaxed a bit during the race. But I think that's just knowing the stakes that we're in play, and just how hard we've worked for it as well, just what we felt like we could achieve going into that day.
And as you say, you qualified well. Obviously, we all know that qualifying well and converting that into a race win isn't guaranteed. But you did. Happy days. What feeling does that give you going into the rest of the season in terms of, do you feel like you've got a package and a car and a setup and everything in place to win more races? Are you not aiming that lofty? Where do you take this win and move forward with it?
No, I think you're right. I think you put your expectation higher. I think every driver or every person, you have somewhere that you're kind of happy with, or somewhere you categorise yourself as. And, I put myself maybe as a top 5 driver going into last weekend. Now I feel like we've actually made that jump to be sort of maybe in the top 3 now. So I think confidence helps, but also you put yourself in a different kind of level of expectation going into each race. But also, I think, in this championship especially, anything can happen. And, we've been a bit unlucky earlier in the year, and I just want to now make sure we can really get some good results under our belt. This is like the icing. But yeah, I want to keep aiming high because that's the feeling we're going for, and that's what I think we're capable of now.
Your current contract with Andretti ends at the end of the season, doesn't it? So have you started thinking about sort of what your future could be, where you're going to go next, what's going to happen?
Yes and no. I feel like it gets earlier every year. Everyone starts talking about contracts. Even you look at Formula One, like everyone's organising all their contracts and stuff.
It's like Christmas. The decorations are out in practically February. It's ludicrous. You're absolutely right.
I know.
And also F1 now, it's like 2026. Who's going to be where in 2026? Now we've just skipped a season.
I know, I know. And it's like also like Lewis announcing before even the start of the season. It's like that is kind of reflected in our stuff as well. It's getting earlier and earlier. So in a way, yes, I've got one eye on potentially what I'm looking at next year, but I keep saying one win isn't going to change my life, unfortunately, enough to guarantee anything for next year. So yeah, just need to keep performing, and hopefully some opportunities come around for the following year.
Betty asked that question because she's in Australia where it is winter, and she got confused by your fire in the background. Betty actually for a brief minute thought it was November, so therefore asked the question. That's right, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like surely it's the end of the season already.
I tell you what, as well, Jamie, I genuinely have missed that Betty Glover eye roll when I say something as well. It's the first time me and Betty have been on doing an episode with each other for a while. I've just missed that eye roll as I say something stupid.
When did I eye roll?
When I made the stupid joke about you thinking it was November, you don't even realise you're doing it.
I was like, oh god, here he goes.
Going roughly back on topic, Jamie, you are part of the Williams setup and have been for a couple of years. You obviously work with them as their F1 Academy advisor. So you're the sort of now I never normally do this, but producer Jimmy's written you're the Yoda figure to Lia Block. I'm not sure that's quite how you describe yourself as the sort of Yoda figure. Is it, Jamie? It's sort of, I think you probably put yourself in more glamorous terms, possibly. But A, are you a Yoda figure? And B, what does sort of that role entail in the Williams setup and helping mentor the likes of Lia?
I might change. I haven't got LinkedIn, but if I had LinkedIn, maybe that's what I would put.
Yeah, 100%.
I actually had to write a CV the other day, and it's not going to get me a job in many places, so maybe that's what's missing.
Hold on. You had to write a CV?
Yeah, don't ask.
Why?
Oh, just an application for something. I take my hat off to people that have much more impressive CVs than what I have.
It baffles me that drivers have to write a CV. Some drivers have LinkedIn and stuff. I'm like, Jesus.
I don't have LinkedIn.
Anyway, yes, your mentor figure to Lia and the Williams setup.
Mentor kind of role is kind of the sort of name and game of it. I guess the main thing with Lia is she's super young and it's so new to her, and she's in a really great place. She's obviously got the support of Williams, and I play a small part in that with kind of the experience that I've had in W Series. It's fairly similar to what she's now going through in F1 Academy, and just trying to help support her in this transition. And unfortunately, it's a bit tricky with my own racing to be at every race, but I was in the last race in Miami with her, and it's very, very cool. Well, for me to see A, the growth of women's motorsport and just with F1 Academy in general, but B, to have a little bit more of an invested interest with someone like Lia and to support her. It's fun. It's like a little passion project in a way, and I'm really enjoying it.
That must be so nice that you're sort of working with a young, exciting driver who isn't directly a teammate or a competitor of yours, so you can have those honest, safe conversations with each other.
Yeah, in a way. I mean, even if she was a direct competition, I think it's still nice to sort of see someone, because she's super talented and she's got, in my opinion, a really bright future regardless of well, wherever she ends up, she's got a really bright future. So just to try and sort of help a little bit with that is just quite cool in a way and fun. And she's got a great attitude and, like I say, a great support network within the team at Williams and in F1 Academy. So I'm very excited to see where she goes.
And she's obviously American. You're part of the Williams setup. Logan Sargent is famously American, and you are racing in America. You must have good tips from the Williams gang about American cool points and how to look after yourself in America while you're over there. Has that been helpful?
Yeah, I feel like I'm sort of an honorary American in a way, but I'm not dropping my accent yet. That's staying strong, I hope.
Yeah, good. Keep that, I reckon.
Notable good tip from either of the two of them on all things American that comes to mind?
Leah's good on the food. Leah's got good food taste. She has Cuban food. Like she likes a lot of interesting different types of food. So she's always been quite good on that.
Nice.
I probably need to pick her brains more. She lives in Utah, which I've never been, but looks incredible. Whenever I see anything she's up to on Instagram, it looks like a very, very good setup. So maybe that's somewhere I need to visit next.
Yeah, doesn't she live on like a farm, or her family have a farm or
I
something?
think so, like a ranch or something.
Something like that, isn't it? Like loads of land, loads of cool things.
Just she's doing cool stuff all the time. Like she is very cool. Like I kind of forget how much older I am than her, but I also find her very cool, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
I'd do my life again. That's what I want to do.
Yeah.
You're right, Betty. She does have farm animals, and that's actually you have to have several animals to be part of the Williams setup. It's called the Albon rule. They've brought it in now. So before you're allowed in the Williams setup, you have to have at least 3 different types of animal.
Do you have any animals, Jamie?
I have a boyfriend. Does he count?
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
My parents have two. Oh, he's going to kill me if you help me say that. My parents have 2 dogs
Oh.
that I claim. They're my dogs.
So there you go. You hit the 3: boyfriend and 2
Yeah,
dogs. James Vowles
exactly.
waves you in. The Albon rule.
We have got a live message, Jamie, that has just come in from the one and only Lia Block. So
Wow.
we're going to read it to you, okay?
Literally, as we're recording, this is breaking news. This is fantastic.
Strong.
She says, "Can you tell Jamie she's a badass and I'm so proud? It makes me so happy to see her on the top step of the podium and gives hope to a lot of women in motorsport. It shows us that we can really compete at this level and beat all the boys."
Oh, bless her. That's cool. That's very cool. And she's probably, hopefully, missed me just going on about how cool I think she is.
I think she thinks you're cool. I think it's a mutual thing. I think it goes both ways.
This is great. This is lovely. What a nice feeling. Everybody's been so nice.
Yeah, honestly, she's so cool. I'm so happy to have the opportunity to work with her as well. So thank you, Leah. You're next. Very much next. She's got bigger and better things to have on her horizon. So, yeah, bring it on.
It is such an exciting time, though, for women in motorsport, isn't it? It just feels like it's getting bigger and better, and feels like, you know, they're making such big steps every single year that goes by. Do you get that impression?
Yeah, it's crazy in a way. Like, yeah, I mean, I started when I was at 12 and I was the only girl to be in, you know, the whole environment at go-karting, and then pretty much all the way up until I got to W Series, which was, I think W Series was finding every single female driver that was even driving under the sun and putting them together.
All of them.
Yeah, exactly. And now you look at how many women are competing just generally around the world. It's a completely different ball game. So, yeah, it's very cool to see. We're doing a lot more now, I think. We're going to only see the results over the next few years, but it's very cool to see.
And you're a trailblazer in that, Jamie. Like, I remember, you know, we speak about this a lot, that I followed motorsport for a long time, and you were the first in my sort of generation of following it. It was like, you know, when you get all the chatter about a promising young driver, and it's like, oh yeah, Jamie Chadwick happens to be a woman. Like, you will always have that in your motor racing career, Jamie. That I think for a generation of female drivers, you were that trailblazer. It must be a proud feeling.
In a way, I think maybe just timing and things. You know, I look at those above me, and yeah, I feel like they were trailblazers, the likes of Susie, you know, Danica. There's so many that were ahead of me that were trailblazers, and there's going to be loads behind me. I think it's just timing, I guess, but it's very cool that, you know, we're just suddenly seeing this big shift in the sport, and you know, everyone wants to see it. Like, we've got such a female audience now for motorsport. It's not like, you know, there's any resistance to it. We want to see it, and we want to see women competing at the highest level, which is very cool as well.
Yeah, it really, really is. I wish that I had seen this when I was younger, because I think it would have opened my opportunities. Like, it just would have made me feel like I could have done so much more in sport, even with women's football. Like, we didn't see women playing football when I was younger, so you just never felt like you could do it.
I thought you were going to say that you would have inspired you to go into motorsport then. And Betty, you are
It
an
might have.
unbelievable talent. I'm very proud of you for what you're doing at the moment. I don't think you're ever going to be a racing driver, mate. I've seen your driving. I've seen you on the sim. I don't think that was ever in you.
Never say never. Never say never.
Yeah, Jamie, you've not done the sim, which we have. And I think, God bless Logan Sargent. We did it at Williams. Logan trying so hard to stay polite, saying, you can't just brake once. You need to keep braking. You can't just do it once. I think world-class sports broadcaster, but not quite a driver.
It's fine. Room for improvement. That's the thing.
Yeah, I was like accelerating into the corner and it just wasn't going well for me.
You see what I mean about the basics? Like, there was a level that's like, I'm not sure this is Betty's natural talent. I'm not sure this...
No one gave me any tips or advice, Jamie, so I was just out there.
That's the problem. Yeah, exactly. You just need a Yoda-like figure and you'll be fine.
Yeah, if I was just getting tutored by someone that actually knew what they were doing, unlike Christian, then I think I've got a lot of natural talent in my locker. Thank you.
You had Logan Sargent. Like, come on. You had a Formula One driver who was trying so hard to stay nice about it.
I know, bless him. He was like, what on earth am I doing? He was like, I finally made it to the peak of my career, the pinnacle, driving in F1, and I'm sat here with this user that can't drive, and then this guy in a flowery shirt, and he was thinking, what on earth? Look, Jamie, we got a message in from a listener recently called George, who was asking whether or not you would be in the picture for working more closely with the F1 setup, maybe being on James Vowles' radar for potential free practice sessions in the future. Obviously, your career and everything you're doing at the moment when NXT is going really well, but is this something that could be on the cards?
I don't know, to be honest, at this point. I would love to have the opportunity to get in that F1 car at some point. I think, I keep saying it, a one race win in Indy NXT definitely isn't going to guarantee me anything. There's a huge amount more that I need to achieve before that becomes a realistic goal. But like I said, I'd love to get in that F1 car at some point. That's always been the dream. I think when I look at competing in Formula One and the level of that, it's ludicrously high. There's 20 seats that don't really change that much year on year. And from my side, that's a little bit far-fetched. But at the same time, like, I've had this relationship with Williams for a long time now, and getting in that F1 car is definitely something that's on my agenda at some point. And yeah, maybe a few more meetings and conversations with James need to happen, but that's what I'm kind of aiming for as well.
Can I go motorsport geeky a minute? Betty, can I go like proper motorsport geeky a minute?
Yeah, fine, go on then. I'll give you permission.
I think Jamie will appreciate it. You are... No, by the time this chat goes out, you will have raced at Laguna Seca, which is a track that I used to drive Ferraris on the Ferrari F355 Challenge game. And it's like an iconic American racing circuit, Central California. It must be a very cool series to race in, Jamie, going around America and going to iconic tracks like that. You already mentioned the Indy link earlier. I think I'm mad jealous of... I think I've said this far and away. I'd love to cover IndyCar and NXT if I ever didn't do Formula One. You must be having a lovely time in that series.
Honestly, the most fun I've had in any racing series ever. And I absolutely love it. I had a tough year last year, and still at no point was I like, this isn't what I want to be doing. Like, I really, really enjoy racing over there. Got a nice little California road trip planned as well, with some golf and stuff as well.
Oh my God, I'm jealous of everything in your life.
It's a lot of fun. I'm lucky.
This chat's going out just before the Silverstone race weekend, and we are obviously, you're in Monaco, Betty's in Australia. This is a supposedly British podcast. We make it in the UK, but we've got listeners from all over the world. And I think for them, as well as the people in the UK, really, just what makes Silverstone special? Have you got any overriding memories of there?
Silverstone is, for sure, my favourite. I'm gutted I missed it, unfortunately. I've got a clash, but it's, for me, the standout. I think motorsport in the UK has just got such a rich... This is a very PR-y answer, but it's got such a rich history. It's the home for most of the F1 teams. I think everyone feels like that. I think because also... People miss this bit, but so many people stay at home when they go to Silverstone. There is something, the whole thing just feels like a very home environment. You're not away from family. You're not away from, in some random hotel room. You're with your family. And I think everyone feels that kind of upbeat nature because of it. And also the track itself is awesome. I'm sure it's one of the drivers, well, most of the drivers' highlights of the year. It's all high speed. I think a good lap round there, you feel like you've absolutely nailed it. And yeah, generally the racing's been pretty good the last few years as well. We've always got a bit of weather or something that throws something into the mix. So it's got to be up there. It's a highlight for everyone, I'm sure.
Jamie, thank you so much for coming back on The Fast and the Curious. It was lovely to meet you for the first time as well.
You too.
From me. So yeah, thank you so much. And good luck with everything. We can't wait to sort of follow your success even further.
Thank you so much. See you guys hopefully in person soon.
Well, I imagine that was brilliant. Obviously, I'm still in the car. I haven't heard it because it would be mad to play it in down the internet. But I look forward to listening to it as a listener. And as long as you had a nice time, Christian, that's all that matters.
Yeah, well, don't think we're just saying this. Greg does actually listen to every bit we do that he's not on.
Of course, control freak.
The next time you hear from us will be the Thursday of Silverstone, and we'll be kicking off with a really fun episode with some of our regular F1 drivers, some of our favourites. Now, we're not allowed to say more about it yet, which I know is really annoying, but it'll be a fun way to kick off the British Grand Prix. And I've said this already, but just subscribe to Fast Curious Pod on TikTok and Instagram, because we've given you loads of information of this podcast, of when the 3 live shows are, how you'll be able to watch everything on YouTube. Subscribe to us on socials. We'll put it all there. We'll make it really easy. And we will bring the British Grand Prix to you if you're not going. And if you are going, we're very excited to see you there, aren't we, Gregory?
Can't wait. It was the highlight of the year last year. And it was it was quite early on in the podcast's life as well. So it'd be really interesting to see how things have changed a year on, and hopefully we can get a British driver winning that race.
Oh my God, could you imagine? Well, from Betty Glover in Australia, from Greg James in a car at the top of a hill in France, and from me, Christian Hugill, somewhat tediously in my podcast room in London, it's goodbye from the Fast and the Curious, and we'll see you at Silverstone. Bye-bye now.
Hit the music.